Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of My Big Fat Junk Drawer. Thanks for tuning in. If you've made it this far, you've made it 2 episodes, so I'm really glad. Today, I've taken the show on the road, as it were, and picked up all of my crap and brought it about 10 minutes away from my house to my friend Adrienne's house. Adrienne, thanks for having me today.
Thank you for hauling your suitcase over today.
I think I'm just going to go to door to door and ask if anyone wants to be on a podcast and see what happens.
It's a great idea.
You have some cool neighbors.
I do. They're interesting.
They are.
I know, like two.
Very good, very good. You know, today I won't be rummaging around my junk drawer, but I have rummaged around Adrienne's today. Adrienne, please tell us, what did you have in your junk drawer today?
An unused tape measure.
An unused tape measure. That is probably an object that a lot of people have. What about this particular tape measure do you find interesting?
I don't use it because I use the arm measuring method. You know, you spread out your arms to measure the dresser, and then you turn and you walk to the space.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I try to do that, and then by the time I get to the dresser, my arms have gone in a little bit, and I never keep the right measurement.
Oh, I never do.
So you're always off when
so
you
then
measure.
I always haul that piece of furniture somewhere, and I'm just like, God damn it, it doesn't fit. And then somebody in the background's like, you should have used a tape measure.
So why do you keep an unused tape measure in your drawer?
I don't know. I should put it with all the other tape measures that's in the garage that do get used.
Do you have a lot of sizes out there?
There are small ones and medium ones and large ones.
Nice. Now, you did mention before that you were measuring furniture. Is there a special reason why you're measuring furniture these days?
I am measuring furniture these days for a particular reason. I have opened my own design business. So clients are going to want things to fit, and they're not going to like the arm method.
They are. Very cool. It's interesting because you, by trade, have been an art teacher for how many years?
8 or 9.
8 or 9. And basically, you just announced last week that you started your business, right?
I did. I had to wait for the state of Ohio to be like, congratulations, you have a business.
You can sell things and do things
Now
legally.
Legally, yeah. That's the point. I paid them the money.
Yeah.
They misspelled the name originally.
Oh, my.
I had to email them, and then they spelled it correctly. And then once it was spelled correctly, I announced, because nobody could Google it because it was spelled wrong.
They'll be like, sure, you started a business.
You're a liar.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's an author's name.
That's actually why I reached out to Adrienne, because I saw that she started a business and I was all up in that. I'm like, oh, what a great person to talk to. So what got you into wanting to do that?
Well, I like to tinker with design,
You do?
paint. I do. We move furniture all the time.
Yeah.
My husband loves it. Kids love it when they come home and their room is different, especially when they get up in the dark to go to the bathroom and they run into a dresser.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of been into that. Since a very young age. I used to paint my room repetitively in life, but it was always white.
Oh.
They always bought me white paint. It was never fun paint. So every few summers, I would repaint it white. It was very boring.
I had friends who I was so jealous. I won't say who they are because they may listen to this. But they used to paint their rooms super cool colors like purple, and then they'd have their Teen Beat magazine shit on the walls, and I was always so jealous of it. But my room was wallpapered.
Yeah. So the good thing about a white wall is you could tape up the Absolute Vodka ads that you could find in People magazine, and they would really stand out. And then, after those ads came out when I was 7, then the You Got Milk ads came out. So that plastered another wall. And then the JTT wall, because everybody had a Jonathan Taylor Thomas wall when they were 9. It was great. And the white paint really helped those pictures pop.
I won't tell you I had on my wall. I'm really embarrassed by it actually now. I did have Kirk Cameron on my wall for just a short period of time. Very short. He's not on there now, just to make that clear.
No, not anymore. It's school pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, all school pictures.
Yeah.
Family photos.
Well, in our room, it's mostly, well, we did hang up our poster from the See Here Now festival. It's usually the upstairs. I allow Mike to put his autographs up. And if you listen to the first episode, you'll hear all about that.
Oh, the autographs. I'm too well familiar with the autographs. He and I have had long Facebook discussions on Babe Ruth baseball signatures.
Yeah. He is good about knowing if something's fake or not, or like how to have something, like how to figure out if it's good or not. So he's you can talk to him about stuff. It's pretty cool.
I can do that through Facebook.
Facebook's an amazing invention.
Facebook messaging. That's a great thing.
Messaging. We're not dating ourselves at all.
No, AOL.
You
still have your AOL.
I do. Loudly and proudly. When you go to a store and they're like, what's your email address? I stand there proudly. I'm like,
I can remember what mine was. I don't know the password anymore.
I use it and I don't care.
I'm too embarrassed to use mine anymore.
You know, I was until I actually laughed about it. I forget what store I was in. And I said, you know, that I'm sure that makes me seem like I'm super old. And the guy was so young. He's like, I don't even know like what that is because I don't use email. A lot of people don't use email. The young folk.
What are they using? The TikTok?
The TikToks and the Snapchats and the... I tried that once. It wasn't for me.
Most of my friends on Snapchat are my kids' friends. So I don't know if that's awkward or not, but that's weird. So interesting. I've had some students who have tried to friend me in like Instagram and I'm like, negative, ghostwriter.
Oh, so can they find you easily or?
Well, I used my name. So
well, that was smart.
Well, you know, I used all my brains in school. So now I don't really have any left. Yeah, I'm boring, generic. So they're like, Mrs. Starkey, I found you on Instagram and you denied me. And I'm like, I know. It's always going to happen.
Not going to happen, kid.
You do not need to see me and my family at Easter.
No.
Or New Year's Eve with
Not
my
at
friends.
All. Not at all.
Or any of my adult parties that we have that we look ridiculous. Dress like your spouse night.
Crazy. Crazy times we've had.
We have had some pretty crazy times.
Adrienne and I go way back to elementary school days for our kids.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we went to elementary school together.
Our children.
Feels like it, though.
And Girl Scouts. Did I tell you? Last year, I was at jury duty, and I was sitting by a woman who worked at Girl Scouts. And she
know us?
Well, tangentially, she knew the lady we used to send our reports to late.
Renee. She hated us.
Did you see that last email she sent when I sent everything in and it was like, bye so long when we wrapped everything up. And she's like, great, thanks, everything's here. And basically that was it. And then I responded, it was so great. Thanks for all your help. Not a reply. She was glad to see us go.
She was. I'm glad they're off my plate. Because they were always late.
Yeah.
Always late.
But we sold those cookies.
We did. The problem why we were always late is because we'd make these get-together dates to sign the paperwork, and we'd end up too drunk to remember to sign the paperwork.
That could be it.
Or you'd leave the paperwork at home by accident.
I did. And the problem was that it was never hard to do. It didn't take a rocket scientist to fill it out, but I just didn't want to do it. It was something that I just couldn't get around to doing. So it was always late. But we're out of that.
We are.
We wrapped it up. We did not get behind anymore after that. So that's good. So back to your design. What are clients looking for now when they're redoing their space?
I don't know yet.
You don't? Are you that new?
I'm new.
You are really new.
I'm like diaper new.
So what's on trend right now? Like I'd like to know.
Well, earth tones.
Oh, earth tones.
Earth tones are on trend.
Are we getting away from like a grayish, like neutral tone, or like what kind of colors?
Well, you know, like earth tone papa colors. So my first client, it's my mom. So we've been remodeling. I did her house a long time ago when we first did all of this. So we're updating. So we lightened up. The original color was from the family kitchen because over time, it just looked more yellowy and it was just like, bleh.
Yeah.
So we went a little bit more closer to like the white tone beige with, versus the yellow into it. And then we did an accent wall with I don't want to use the word sage green because it's not really sage, but it's like a muddy green that's really toned down. And that's where all of the photographs hang. So it really accented all of these photos that she has, especially of her grandparents and great grandparents that are in these really delicate frames that are black and white. So they really do pop. And then we went with some new furniture. One of the best pieces we've picked out and has had delivered is a conversation sofa.
Oh, do you have conversations on the sofa?
Well, we have been. which would be great for you to have for your podcast. So these...
I saw the picture of it when he posted it.
Yeah.
It was a lovely sofa.
It is lovely in that neutral. And it's got a slight curve to it. So that way, whoever's sitting in the middle is set back a little bit, and whoever's flanking either side of them when they're sitting, they're more angled, so everybody kind of sees each other. So it opens up for conversation.
This sounds like a sorority Rush sofa, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
I'm getting vibes of Rush back in college.
For the interviews and,
Yes.
your pink suit. Yeah.
What's your major?
Design. My name is Elle Woods. Do the old pop and lock when you get up.
No, it was a pretty sofa. I saw that picture. It was really cool.
And, surprisingly, gold's coming back.
I've seen a lot of that.
But not like what we remember gold being growing up. It's a really brushed gold. It's a matte gold, still really sleek lines. So we're moving into that mode of adding some gold back into it, but like elegantly adding in the gold.
Yeah.
So it's not like in your face. So it's been kind of fun to like
That's pretty cool.
dabble in this and kind of, I don't want to say experiment, but it is really kind of like the showcase of what I plan to do.
That's really neat. I love design, and when something is just so well put together, I don't have that flair for it. And I'm really bad at, especially in artistic projects, like picking colors. Do they have a difficult time picking colors or like visualizing what it's going to look like?
So that was her biggest thing. She has a really hard time visualizing the end result. Like, how is that color going to look? How can you visually put that on the wall and be like, this is going to be perfect? And that really came up when she had purchased this home and we needed to remodel things to begin with. It was kind of one of those like, I don't know. And I'm like, trust, like, this is going to work. And it's almost like, I walk into a room and I'm kind of like, ooh, this would be really great. And sometimes there is hesitation from people, but in the end, when it's all put together, it does really make sense and it flows and it's comfortable and it's not like this whole like, whoa.
Yeah. I admire that because I just have a hard time visualizing what is possible for a space. So that sounds really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah. And, I tinker at home where I can and, what I can do here. And, we just kind of changed our setup in our formal living room for our piano because the original thought was to put it in the basement. I'm like,
no.
We put that in the basement. Nobody will ever use it.
I'll come and play with it.
Our luck, the basement would flood next week.
Oh, sure.
So I was like, what if we just moved furniture around and let's just see what it looks like? And it actually, I think, really made the space, I don't want to say fuller, but more lived in. The way we had it set up before, it was still gave me an empty vibe, even though we've been here for 4 years. It still felt like it was missing something.
Yeah, I do like it in there. It looks great.
Yeah, and we found the missing piece. So that was it.
Perfect.
It is perfect.
It's lovely.
It is lovely. We're like adults because we have a piano and a china.
Do you go in there and play? Do you play?
I can play. Not terrific at all. James can play just marvelous pieces of music. It's just, I love to sit in there and listen.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that about James.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
We have all sorts of instruments in this house because he's always been an instrument guy. He's a huge music guy. So he can just sit down and read this ridiculous sheet music. And it's just like, all right, this is great. And then Joe has downloaded an app that teaches him how to play the piano, and he's been teaching himself how to play songs. So now he can play some songs. So that's been kind of fun just to watch everybody.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very good, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe's back there making his pierogies for dinner. Hi, Joe. He's being very quiet.
Trying to be quiet.
Trying to be quiet.
He can't be this quiet ever.
No.
It's hard.
It's okay.
Don't worry. He'll fall down and yell or something will happen.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
There are children, so somebody is going to come down those stairs. I guarantee you at some point screaming, Mom.
It's inevitable. It really is.
It's like I can't go to the bathroom alone anymore. I could sit on that blue couch over there for hours, just playing on my phone or just sitting there reading a book. No problem. Nobody talks to me. Nobody looks at me. Nobody comes to find me. But the minute my phone rings and somebody wants to talk to me on the phone, somebody is in my face asking me 700 questions.
Yep.
Or the minute I get up to go to the bathroom, there's like a hand sliding under the door. Are you in there?
Yeah. Last night I was in the basement working on something for work, maybe like 15 minutes, not even that big of a deal. And I hear Mike come downstairs and ask Emma, where's your mom? Where is she? Like as if I'm missing
As if you left.
And I just sit there sometimes being very silent just to listen to what they say. Of course, Emma's like, I don't know. And Mike's like, well, where'd she go? I'm like, where could I have gone? It's not that big of a house. Come on.
She just walked out the door.
And then I yelled, I'm like, I'm in the basement. And he's like, what are you doing? Plotting my escape without question.
I'm going to pack up my microphones and my headset and I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm going to come over to Adrienne's because she provides a spread when you do a podcast at her house, let me tell you.
Well, nobody can think on an empty stomach.
Well, no.
And if you're drinking, you really do need a bite to eat.
Well, I do appreciate the beverage.
I know.
Always.
Beverages are always good.
Always. Man.
I always say I'm going to give up drinking on school nights.
Oh, I say that and then never works.
I tried to do it for Lent this year.
How'd that go?
Not good.
No.
I drank night 2. And like every night after that, so it's fine. It never works.
You're a sinner. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, you know.
No.
I give up chocolate. I eat chocolate.
That's usually how I do it. I give up something and I end up
I give up
slipping.
swearing. I swear even more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is shocking. And my family's pretty shocked about it because they're like, how do you go to work every day and not like just swear? And I'm like, it's really hard.
You know your audience.
Like I'm, all those 6-year-olds, I really don't need to start swearing at them. And
Probably not a great
no,
idea.
it's not a great idea at all. But I can make it all day without doing it. You'd think I could do it at home, but it's like I get home and it's
been building up for 8 hours, so you just got to let it out.
That is true. That is true.
Did you get your pierogies? Yeah, it's okay. That's it.
Giggling back here in the background. Yet he didn't tell his sister dinner was ready.
Joe.
And, the dog's going to end up eating the plate of pierogies that he's left on the counter back there because she can reach them.
Yeah, Ruby likes to surf on the...
She does. She's like, oh, you made that charcuterie board for Amanda? Let me have some.
I'd like to share, please. Thank you.
Let me just lick it a little bit and then you can eat it.
Just get a little right here on the corner.
She was pretty excited to see you. It's been a long time.
I know. She was. She was really excited.
She does. She gets super excited when you come around.
More excited than my family to see me at the end of the day.
I get pretty excited to see you.
I know.
I could start.
You were at that door. I rang that bell and you were there.
Well, I got a weeknight date. Things are going well.
Oh, man. So what else? Tell me more about your new business.
Well, it's named after my parents. So my mom is Catherine and my dad's middle name is Raphael.
Uh-huh.
But Danny's first name is Catherine as well.
That's right.
And Joe's middle name is Raphael. So it's kind of named after some pretty important people in my life.
Yeah.
That's where the name Catherine Raphael Design came from. And I thought it sounded a lot better than, Adrienne Starkey Design. That's kind of like, meh. So this whole name thing sounded a little bit more elegant.
Yeah. I'm terrible with names. Names, titles, anything like that. I used to write papers in college. I would get 100% on the paper part, but then they would take points off for the title because I just hated it. I would gladly give up 2 points so I wouldn't have to name it. But that's a good name.
Yeah.
It's very profesh sounding.
Well, that's kind of like what I'm looking for, I guess. I don't, try to stay away from the whole Dollar Tree name line there, Kind of trying to be a little bit classier.
Well.
Step up, a little, maybe a step higher than Mark's right now.
I like Mark's.
I do too.
But just a step up.
Just a step up. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where that goes. I don't know. So right now I don't have any expectations.
Yeah. Do you have any clients lined up other than?
I've had a couple inquiries so far. So that's kind of exciting. So currently doing my parents' house, it's trying to find a painter and trying to find a carpet person and trying to find these people who you can vouch for because you've worked with them personally, right? It's trying to find somebody that is going to show up and do their job when they tell you they're going to do it, and it's going to be the quality of work that you're expecting. So I have found through this process, we had some furniture restored recently that was my dad's when he was much younger. Somebody gave it to him. It's solid cherry wood furniture. And he thought it would be a brilliant idea at one point to paint it like a pea green.
Oh, my.
It was really terrible. So that was my parents' furniture, and they first met and got married and slept in that. And then it went to my sister. And then eventually it was mine. And it was just like the most hideous furniture ever. And somehow At one point, I had a white and like pea green quilted cover on top of it that my parents were able to find. And it's like, if you couldn't have made this furniture any uglier, you did.
But just wait.
Against
more.
my white walls that I had perpetually.
Precious.
It was beautiful. And I had a creamed color hide-a-bed sofa in my room as well. I don't know how many kids have that in their bedrooms. So I decided at one point when I was older, like an adult, like, you have to like pay your own mortgage type stuff, that I thought it'd be a really great idea while pregnant with Danny to restore it myself.
Oh, that's great.
It is great. So, and nonetheless, I thought it would be a great idea to do it in my parents' basement while pregnant. So that might explain a little bit on the whole,
Not
great situation, because sometimes I look at Danny, I'm like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh,
well,
might have been the paint stripper. So I stripped it and then I stained it again to look more cherry. And I did the best I could. There were some pretty ornate pieces to it that it was hard to get to. And I literally had no idea what I was doing. I'm like, this is a great idea. This is so much fun. So it was in our house for years and years and years and years. So then when we moved to this house, she's like, I don't want this furniture anymore. I'm like, well, you have the nicest furniture out of everybody because it's really hard to find solid furniture.
Right.
Right.
It's all cheap.
It is all cheap and it's, that particle pressed board garbage. And you overturn that screw once and the whole thing splinters and you've got shards everywhere on the floor and somebody's mattress hits the floor at 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, this is terrible. So she stayed with it. And then, she decided it was time to like change to her new theme that she likes. And, it's more earth tone and whatnot. So we got a white wrought iron bed for her in her room. So I went and stored this furniture back in my parents' basement. So with the remodel of her house, we've decided that with gold kind of being something that's coming back, we thought, let's strip. It took some convincing, but I convinced my mom that it would look beautiful if it was a matte black finish. So we took it. My rule of thumb is I contact 3 people in the trade that I'm looking for. I talk to them, I get price quotes, I get a feel for how they're going to do things and kind of like their ethics and working. And I found a great guy on like the south side on the way out to go to like Reichert Ford there and on 33.
Oh, yeah.
So out that way, not too far, southeast, whatever direction that is. And they did the work. And what I really loved about this particular individual we worked with is when I was standing there dropping it off, they sanded a spot really quick and they're like, let me show you what this is going to look like and put a few layers on. So like I was able to like see what this was going to look like, and I'm like, it's perfect. But I don't want you to like throw a lacquer on it and make it shiny. I don't want this shiny. I don't want it to look like something that came from IKEA. Now, I love IKEA.
I do.
But I don't want it to look like I could see myself in the reflection, right? We're looking for something a little bit more elegant. And I use the reference of Levesque Tower in their new, hotel rooms. And it's just more elegant and higher end there. And so we have it back and it is like beautiful. Like it is beautiful. So we're going to put some hardware on it that's gold, but like a matte gold on it. And it's just going to look terrific.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we got a gold and black fixture chandelier to hang in there. And we did like a creamy ivory color on the walls with white trim and carpets going in. So it's going to just be this.
Oh, that sounds pretty.
Yeah. So it'll be nice. So I'm like, I want to come spend the night.
Yeah.
And maybe sleep in the guest room.
That sounds divine.
Yeah. By myself.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, right? So I can vouch for some of the people I've worked with, which is really great, right?
That is.
Because some people get these hand-me-down pieces of furniture from family and they're just like, I don't really know what to do with it. Well, you don't have to keep it the way it is, right? We can refurbish it and bring it back to life for what today is, but it still keeps its traditional look and it still has the meaning of where it came from. And
yeah, I'm afraid to tell you, but I have a dresser in my garage that I kind of gave up on.
I thought you cleaned the garage and purged the garage.
I did, and it needs a good repurging.
It sounds like we need a weekend.
We do. I'm to the point where I started to sand it, but I'm not sure. It's one of those... I don't know. It's one of those dressers from the 60s/70s.
Okay.
It's a Lane piece. I think that's the brand. But I had it in my bedroom growing up, and I thought, well, it was white. It was that lacquery finish.
Right.
And I thought I had grand plans to refinish it, and I started, and I'm like, this isn't fun for me. Just left it there.
I'm not enjoying the
This isn't fun.
fumes and the work and the dust.
Yeah. I want to get to a point where it's finished, but I don't know. Maybe I should have you look at it.
I'll look at it. I've got a great guy.
That's the best thing is you know all the people now.
I'm getting there. So I'm starting to get my collection of specialists.
And you're a ball buster too. I imagine you get shit done.
Well, I just tell them, like, this is what it's going to be. And then sometimes if you're like, well, what do you think? I'm like, that's not what I asked you to do. This is what I've asked you to do. Just do it. This is what they want done.
You should flip houses. You'd be a good house flipper. Man, you would get that crap done in like 30 days.
I would be. I remember when my mom bought her house and we had like less than 90 days to turn that into something livable. And we did. Like, I was over there every day and I'm like, is this done? Is this done? Here's our checklist. Let's do it.
Yeah. You are probably one of the most organized people I know, for sure.
I think it drives people crazy.
I don't know. I find it to be pretty cool.
Somebody will be like, where are the Band-Aids? I'm like, they're in the linen closet, top of the stairs. I'm like, they're not there. I'm like, all right, third shelf up, 6 inches to the right, one cabinet back, your bucket back. There's 4 boxes, different sizes. Do you need a waterproof one? What do we need? And they're like, oh, you were right. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Of course I was right. I know where everybody's stuff is.
That's why you were a Girl Scout leader.
This is true.
That's why you had all the medical forms.
I could put a Band-Aid on because I knew where they were.
I am organized for everyone else but myself, I find. I don't know why.
I mean, I have a color-coded calendar hanging up there, so every kid knows their color, and they know exactly where they're going to be and when they're going to be there. And then we have, the Apple Share calendar, whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, each kid has their own color in that as well, and so he and I know where everybody needs to be, when they need to be there.
Sounds wonderful.
I know when he's going to meetings. He knows when I'm going to meetings.
I do have a Google Calendar. We do have that.
It. Google Calendar.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
We do have that.
I like to write it down a few times, so it's here hanging up.
I have it on paper and in my Google Calendar.
I carried an old school planner still in my work bag.
I do too. I like the old school. Sometimes if I'm writing something down, it sticks. Like I remember it better.
I don't ever forget anything.
Oh, I know you don't.
I mean, I got it. I got it.
You remember shit from like 6 years ago.
I remember stuff from like first meeting you and Mike, like that first whole like,
Dear God,
how's this gonna work? I remember you giving me my crocheted ear warmer at Walmart to sell cookies with the little cookie on it.
Yes.
And now Walmart sells Girl Scout makeup.
I saw that.
I was looking at it today because we went to Walmart, because who doesn't go to Walmart?
Right.
And I'm like, are those cookies?
Yes. And I think they smell like cookies, if I'm not mistaken.
So then I'm just going to eat my makeup.
Well, I guess they want you to do that. Or,
I hope it's been tested.
Well, on rabbits, probably. I don't know.
It's kind of like the whole lead paint thing, right? You don't want to, if you want to lick the walls, you're going to have to paint your walls to ensure there's no lead paint. Because if you buy a house with lead paint, you got to sign those waivers.
Yes.
Stating that there's lead paint in the closet, and don't let little Betty lick the closet walls.
Who licks walls, for crying out loud?
Somebody must, because otherwise,
lick walls.
Otherwise we wouldn't have these stupid forms when we buy houses.
There's too many forms.
There's a lot of forms. I mean, a lot of forms. Can't we just like give you the money and be like, fine, it's fine?
Oh, I wish. 26 signatures.
Do you know how many forms there are to buy a car now?
I haven't bought a car in a while, so how many? Is there a lot?
There was a lot. It was a lot of forms to buy a car. And I'm like, I just want the car. I mean, I felt like I needed to take my firstborn as collateral. Here you go.
Yeah.
Good luck with her.
Just not a fan of forms.
Don't talk to her when she just gets out of bed, because it's like Medusa. It's not good.
Not good.
The forms are bad. That's one thing I'm like, I'm not going to do the form thing with my business.
No.
We're just going to do the gentleman's handshake.
Really? Are you?
Yeah. I mean, people don't want to sign papers.
No, not really.
You just sign your check.
Well, yeah, that's how you do it.
Sign your check.
Yeah. Well, I imagine most of your clients will be people you know at first anyway, and then they'll be able to give you some testimonials.
Well, right. I'm hoping, some of my friends will be like, hey, I need help with this room. And I'll be like, let's do this.
Help me with that random dresser in my garage.
I will. Well, the fun part is like the going out and shopping part, right? And like wandering around and like looking at things.
And I imagine in that job, it's spending someone else's money that's even better.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I did find when I was walking around doing this with my mom and she would point something out, I was like, well, it sucks. Keep walking. So we've had some of those conversations. She has done a lot of work on her own, which I've been very impressed with some of the things. She's like, what do you think about this end table? I'm like, actually, it's perfect. It's brilliant.
Wow.
You did a great job. And, don't doubt yourself, right? You know what you want. You know what you like. Just go with it. But the shopping is fun because you can have a lot of fun with it. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
Can learn a lot about somebody when they take you to that leopard print armchair and you're just like, well, you live in suburbia Columbus. I'm going to say no.
Do you usually plain color and then like pops of print? What would you
Yes. So I like solids.
I was looking at your couch.
That couch was solely purchased because of that room. So when we moved here, I am not kidding you. We literally threw everything away. And we started fresh.
Yeah.
As we are a blended family, we both had our own hodgepodge of junk. But we had never really purchased furniture together. We just had mixed everything together where we had lived prior. And when we came here, we decided, let's just buy everything. Let's just do it, right? We have one time that we can just throw everything away and start over, down to the mattresses.
Wow. Yeah, you did it. I remember.
Did it. So, and somehow we needed 2 moving trucks, which is still surprising. And I'm like, what did we even move? Because on the day of moving, all the delivery trucks showed up.
And I should add, you had COVID at this time too, didn't you? Or was this after?
We got COVID the day after we moved in.
It was a rough time for you.
I tell you, though, I had every box in this house unpacked and put away in less than a week.
You couldn't breathe and you thought you were going to die, but man, it was put together.
It was put together. The plates were away. Everyone could just function at that rate. Even the pictures were on the wall.
This is what I mean. You're the most organized person I know.
But that whole blue couch was purchased for that space in that room. And then
it's wonderful.
And then, you can't just put the same blue pillows on that couch because then they get lost, right? And then there's no separation of space. So we purchased those pillows separately to add our pop of color. And then that's when we pulled in the high back wing chairs there to pull in the cream in those pillows.
Yeah, it looks really nice. My problem is when I'm picking a color, you always see someone will suggest, well, if you pick a blue, and then they'll go the opposite side of the color wheel. That's where I get weirded out is when.
Well, that's where you come into complementary colors.
Yeah.
So your complementary colors across from you on the color wheel. If you think about it, red and green are Christmas colors. And they're across from each other on the color wheel, and they're complementary colors.
Oh, that's true. I never thought of that.
Some artist said it was true, so that's kind of how we teach life. I don't know who.
Is that how you teach the kids?
That's how I teach them. Somebody somewhere said they're across from one another on the color wheel, so they're complementary colors.
So if I was going, so that blue couch, for example, if you went across the color wheel, would a pillow across from it, would that match?
Yeah.
Okay. And it would be okay. It would be visually
visually
I'm telling you, I'm really bad at color.
Here's what when my students start to question this right at school, I start to bring up sports teams. So think about the Vikings, the football team, right? They're purple and yellow.
Opposite sides
of the color wheel. And then you've got, what is it? Is it Boise State or somebody like that who has the blue and orange football field because it screws with the opponents because they practice on it, but they're also opposite colors. So I think of it that way. That's kind of how I give it to them.
Okay. I need a color study with you.
Okay.
I need you to be my teacher.
We do color studies at the beginning of the year in all grades just to refresh their memories.
Maybe I should come to the kindergarten class.
The kindergartners learn a lot about artists.
I bet they do.
They do. We pick an artist every week because YouTube Kids has a fabulous channel that's called Maddie and Dada.
Oh.
And they're little artists and they're cartoons. And they start off their show with they're doing a work of art and somehow it ties to this artist. So then they travel back in time and they go meet Vincent van Gogh or they meet Leonardo da Vinci and they talk about Da Vinci will talk about his life and his work and show them work. And then they spin back and come back to time. And then the two of them are recreating a work of art from that artist. And then what we do then is we reproduce. So watching kindergartners make Wheat Field with Crows by Vincent van Gogh. It's beautiful because we use crayon and they learn about the layering, how you have to start with the lighter color and then you add the darker color on top and the haloing of the moon with the white. And it's really fun. And they end up with their own Wheat Field with Crows.
Aww.
So it's really fun.
How cute.
We do a big Wassily Kandinsky unit and we learn about circles and squares because he's, circles and squares. And they end up making their own. And we practice first in crayon on like a worksheet. And then we practice on a big one. And then they paint one in watercolor without any drawing. They just have to go for it. And they turn out really cool.
I would be a terrible student.
No, you'd be fine. It's surprising how great they do, right? Like, there's no fear in kindergarten.
No, not at all.
So that's why they're so great. They like have nothing to fear. There's, mistakes don't exist yet. Right. It's not until they start to get older and they're like, well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, make it a happy mistake.
Yeah. I doodle a lot. I've been trying to learn how to draw recently.
I doodle a lot. I always tell, like when we're in staff meetings, I always tell my bosses in the beginning, like, I am listening to you. But with the ADD and the ADHD, like, I just can't sit here and watch you talk.
Yeah. What's your favorite doodle that you do? Do you have one that you do all the time?
No.
I do. I do flowers. And recently I've noticed in my work notes that I've been doodling a lot of bunches of grapes for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah. Water's fun to make, like water droplets.
Oh, yeah.
Or like bubbles and making the little halo in it.
Mm-hmm. I also do a little cactus in a pot, like more succulent.
Cute. I used to do eyes, but somebody pointed out at one point it creeped them out that I was drawing eyes because they felt like they were being watched.
Mike said he used to, when he was drawing, sometimes he would just be like, just drawing someone random to try to get, he could never get hands right. He says hands are the worst.
They are hard.
The hardest thing. So people would be creeped out because he'd be drawing them like a creeper from across the way.
It's fine. Get his autograph for this Sharpie.
Oh my God. No.
Can I have your autograph, sir?
No.
No.
Ugh. What would you say your aesthetic is for design? Like, what way of design? Like, what do you like? What's your personal preference of things? Like, what would you say?
Oh, in this house?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'd like to say, this will be funny. I like to think that I'm a minimalist because I don't like a lot of crap. Right? Like,
I would say that, yes. I can see that.
But if you talk to James, he's like, you have every surface in that house covered. Now, I see what he's saying, right? There's pictures out, or we have these shells out, or like these items out, but they all like tell a kind of like a story.
Yes, it's very calculated what you put.
It is.
It's not a lot. So I do get that about you.
So I feel like it's more minimalist. But I always used to joke with people that like, you can come to my house and you would never know there were kids here except for the fact that there are pictures of them. Because you never walked into a room and found stuff that kind of said, we have 3 kids living in this house. Like everything has a place and a containment and you put it away and you use it. So I mean, I feel like that's still kind of like my story here that I don't like surfaces like the countertops. I hate the countertops being cluttered. Like that is my biggest pet peeve. All the crap on the countertops just drives me crazy. So it's like we have one section that sometimes just gets really overwhelmed. And then some days I'm just like, I'm throwing it all away. And it'll be like, where'd the water bill go? I'm like, well, I don't know.
Gotta look it up.
In the garbage, probably in the trash. Or somebody would be like, have you seen?
Nope.
Not at all. No idea.
I need to learn from you because, well, I have a podcast about junk drawers, so that should tell you something about me away.
I'm pretty sure you have more than one junk drawer.
I do. I have a lot of junk drawers. Yeah. So this podcast is going to last a really long time. But my problem has always been that I assign feelings to things. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I will see a vase or just something that doesn't even make sense to somebody and be like, oh, somebody gave that to me and they gave it to me at this date at this time.
Right.
So I just start assigning feelings to it and I can't let it go. I'm working on it, but it's really hard.
It is hard. It is really hard. So like recently, I've been dealing with that in the realm with my own kids, right? They have these items and like, for example, I'm going to use Joe. His Xbox broke and it didn't work and we couldn't get it to work and we reset it and we did all this stuff, right? And I'm like, dude, we'll just go get a new Xbox. It's not the end of the world, right? But Joe had assigned a feeling to it because my mom and dad had bought it for him years ago for Christmas.
Yeah.
And with the recent loss of my dad, Joe refused to get rid of the Xbox. He's like, well, if I get a new Xbox, I'm going to keep the one that doesn't work. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
I totally get that. 100%. I understand.
Which is like something I've never really experienced, right? I'm like, oh, I'm done with this item.
Yeah.
Let's take it to Goodwill. Let's sell it. let's send it off on its new life somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tend to hold on to it as tight, and I can get rid of it. But I've been learning that is actually like a real thing.
It is a
now
thing.
that I've got little people who are like, well,
Mm-hmm.
and I have told him, I'm like, well, your grandfather's not in the Xbox. I can promise you that. He probably didn't even know what an Xbox was because, it's an Xbox. He remembers an Atari.
Yeah.
I remember an Atari. So that is a thing.
That
is a real thing. And I know it's a hard thing, right? Especially when you've lost somebody or.
Yeah. I'm getting better because the older I get, the more I want to just release it. I just want to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And more, I think I'm getting better at it. But it is a thing with me. I know that there's a few things that I'm like, I can't get rid of it. I can't. I'm not ready for it yet.
But you might be able to find a way to repurpose it in a different manner.
Yes. And I've tried that too. But yeah, I'm trying to release things, be like, you know what? It served its purpose. Let it go. I think that Marie Kondo lady who's like the tidying up person who's like, just bless it. Like, tell it, thank you for doing what you're supposed to do and just let it go.
I'm
trying to do that.
Thank you for helping me. Thank you for being there for me.
Yeah, it's hard.
And release it.
That's right.
It is hard.
Ugh.
Oh, it is hard.
We're trying.
It's all right. But I will help you.
Thank you. Oh my God. I feel so much better.
I would come over and help you. I'd be happy to come over and help you.
Oh my gosh.
Though I don't know that you'd like my rules.
What's your rules?
Okay. So I really do live by the 6-month thing. If you haven't used it in 6 months, how practical is it? Except if we're talking about like ski gear, particular things that, in Ohio, we used our ski gear 6 times.
Oh, I know.
So we're not going to use it for another 9 months. I'm not going to make everybody throw their skis out. But, but like if you think about, okay, if you have 7 ladles, why do you need 7 ladles?
This is true.
I mean, one is sufficient. I have survived on 1 ladle and I can't even tell you, I don't really use it a whole lot.
Yeah.
So you really don't need 7 ladles. Now, I have found that I pack rat strainers. I've got 3 of those, which is bizarre. It's a very bizarre.
Are they at least different kinds
They're
of strainers?
all different sizes. Okay. So like I have the metal strainer that's big. Then I have a mesh one that's a step down size. But then I have a teeny tiny one for like when we're cooking ramen for one. Because I have a friend who does not like the soupy part of it.
Oh, I don't either. I like chunky ramen.
Ugh, chunky ramen. Oh, sorry, I almost knocked your empty beverage can over.
The cans are multiplying.
The cans are rattling. So I have 3 strainers, which, sometimes could be bizarre. I do collect hand towels for the kitchen. Oh. It's so dumb.
Now, what kind of hand towels? Do you like hand towels with a little bit of a saying on it, or do you?
No, they're like solids. Like
solids.
Because if it's out, it must match.
You don't have a towel that says like, I hate my fucking family.
No, but I do have this wonderful sign back here. I don't know if you've noticed it.
I don't have my glasses on. What is it?
What it says is, from the bottom of my heart, I don't give a fuck.
That is lovely.
My friend Bridget gave me that because she saw it one day and she's like, that's my friend Adrienne. So it sits behind the stove back there. And, occasionally somebody will walk in and do something and I'll just point to the sign that says, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, that is you.
It is.
That was
it is
spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good one. She knows me well enough. As you can see, Joe is bringing you hand towels now to. But that's not even all of them.
Oh, I like this one. This has that like 50s look to it.
Oh, it does. So
deco kind of
I got these for Christmas. I got 2 of them.
Oh, it has little recipes for drinks on it.
Well, my mother-in-law knew we were getting ready to have that Roaring 20s party.
Oh.
So she had got me some of these cool hand towels for our party that we didn't really get to do.
Yeah, we'll just have to reschedule.
We will. But those have fun recipes on them. So those are good. But as you can see, I've got all sorts of towels. And it's weird, because sometimes you use it too much and then they like stink.
Yeah.
So I do. And I also have a large abundance of Yetis and coffee cups.
Oh, that I know about you. You are all about the Yetis and the coffee cups.
Different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
You need a wine Yeti.
Well,
you need a beer Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
You need a tall Yeti. You need a beach Yeti. You need a travel Yeti. You need a water Yeti. But then the Stanleys came into play. And now we've got like 700 Stanleys.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't go all Stanley.
We are a mixed household. So the Easter Bunny brought Stanleys for Easter because
Oh, boy.
why not? Because
Why not?
everybody
Everyone
needed.
else did.
Well, everyone already had a Stanley,
Yep.
so let's have another Stanley.
Well, and before that was a Hydro Flask. Let's not forget that. Season.
We have 6 of those too.
Yeah.
We have all of those. It's just I like cups.
You have a house of teens.
I have a house of teens. I do. Cups is kind of like one of that's my thing. James was like, do you really need another coffee mug? And I'm like, yeah, I do, because we've never been to Boise and I need a coffee cup that says Boise.
Well, and you need to stay hydrated, for crying out loud, right? Give him that excuse.
Well, he really knows.
All about the hydration.
The problem with that is I don't really like water unless it's in my beer.
Or vodka.
Or my vodka. Or my wine. So that's a hard one. He's trying to get me to drink the water. I'm doing a little better.
A little less alcohol in the water every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but cups.
Cups, man.
I have a hard time getting rid of cups.
Yeah. Oh, here's something that seems to multiply in my house. The the plastic containers for
like Tupperware,
like leftovers.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So you know what I did? We have our regular Rubbermaid set that we keep.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually I bought the traditional takeout black bin with the clear top.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a set of those for ourselves.
Oh.
And I use those and I just throw everything else away.
Yeah. I thought about getting the glass ones just so I don't have a lot of plastic.
We'd like that. James has talked about doing the glass. I'd love to do it, but it is kind of expensive.
It is.
But apparently it's safer.
That's what they say.
You know what I just recently found out, actually?
What?
I'm an idiot when I go to the grocery store. And I'm just picking stuff up and slinging it into the cart. And I think nothing about it when I buy butter. I just grab a stick of butter that's on sale and throw it in the cart. And the last 2 times I've made homemade fettuccine Alfredo, it's been like a weird runny. It's just been weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? I've been doing this for decades and it's always perfect. So he looks at the butter and he's like, you're not buying butter. And I'm like, what? He's like, you're buying margarine.
Oh, there is.
I'm like,
do you know that margarine is they say has plastic?
That's where he just told me. And he's like, you're feeding us plastic. We talked about this and I'm like, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. You're better off just eating butter, just regular old butter. It's better.
So I'm probably got some kind of disease now from eating all of this plastic that I've been eating for years. So I baked a cake for Easter. I did an Irish whiskey cake.
Oh,
see the liner at all of this is the booze in my life. So not only did I buy the good Jameson, I bought Irish butter. I bought
Kerrygold.
Yeah, I bought 6 sticks of butter and it was $15.
Yeah, but it's good.
Do you know how many packages of margarine I could have bought? 15.
Oh no,
give me the plastic.
That Irish butter.
I know, it makes a difference.
So good.
So, now I'm like, I've been feeding my kids plastic.
You have. You've slicked up their arteries.
As you watch them just coat their crescent rolls at dinner and a half a tablespoon.
Joe's like, thanks.
Joe's like, I love plastic.
Give me more.
Your friend over here is exhausted. Have you noticed?
Oh, Rupert.
She wanted to be a part of this excitement.
Ruby loves me.
Oh, Joe's going to mess with her.
Oh, now she's not asleep.
Now we're done.
Now she's done.
See, I told you somebody was going to come down those stairs.
I specifically said we need a quiet space. No, it's not going to happen here. And I knew that.
It doesn't happen at your house either, does it?
No, not at all.
They don't exist.
No.
Unless you're single.
Yep, man, those days. Sometimes.
But then you end up with a cat.
Yeah.
And it ends up purring really loud into the microphone. And you're like, oh my God, I have to start over again. And I was 9 minutes into this. Meow.
Oh, I have to ask you a really serious question. What have you been watching on Netflix lately?
Oh, actually, this is good. We just finished The Crown.
Oh my God, I finished it.
And
it was so good.
I'm like, why'd they stop? And he's like, because she died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we could have kept going. We've got a whole new conspiracy going on.
The ending was perfect.
It was. We finished that. We binged it very quickly. So then we were on pause and we're waiting for real television to come back since,
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to see Teen Mom again or The Real Housewives. Just kidding. I mean, I like Law and Order and stuff too. So we have been binge watching Suits.
I have not watched that one. I need to watch that one. I need to watch it.
The only thing that bothers me about the show, though, the main character, Harvey Specter, is his name in the show. He's got these 2 moles above one of his eyes.
Mhm.
And that's all I focus on. It reminds me of Austin Powers when they're like,
Oh, holy moly.
mole,
Mole.
mole, 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 mole.
Mole.
I mean, he's really nice looking,
Yeah.
except the fact that he has these two moles, and I'm just like, mole.
Is he a bad guy? Because
No,
that character named Spectre sounds suspect to me.
Well, he's good, but
Okay.
he's naughty.
Oh.
He bends the rules.
Okay. Yeah, that tracks with that.
I think you should watch it.
I will watch that. Did you watch One Day,
No,
the limited series? It's based on the book One Day.
I've not read it.
Oh my God. I watched it alone, first of all. I watched it.
Did you cry?
Well, it is a cry fest. And I'm not saying it's just like a little tear here and there. I watched it on my lunch break, like every day, like a little. It's like 14 episodes.
On my lunch break.
Yeah, on my lunch break. I watched it a little bit every day. And at the end, and I won't say anything about it, I was crying so hard that I had a meeting 2 hours after that. My eyes were just red with circles on Zoom because I was crying so hard. It messed me up for a week.
So it sounds like a really good show to watch when I've been drinking, so I'm even more emotional.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You must watch it.
Okay, One Day.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess I had never heard of the book before. It's been out for a while. I actually got it at the library last week so I could read it.
Do libraries still exist?
They do. I worked at one.
That's right. I forgot.
I worked at one. But yeah, you have to see it.
Okay.
God, it's so good.
I'm just going to watch it then. End of story.
Yeah. Are you a Vanderpump Rules watcher?
I am.
Oh my
I
God.
love me the drama with Lala.
I love Lala.
I really
she's my
hate.
favorite.
Oh, what's that douchebag's name?
Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. Oh, you knew that. He's a loser.
He's coming to Columbus.
Ugh, of course he is.
I asked Mike if he wanted to go with me to see him. He said no.
Like his band?
Yes.
What a loser.
I kind of want to go.
Why?
just,
I would go and throw an egg in his face.
I know.
He's a loser.
He is.
Both the Toms are actual losers.
They are. Oh my gosh, this season is something.
They make Jax look like an angel.
No kidding. Did you watch The Valley with Jax and Brittany?
I did start to watch that.
That's a train wreck.
It is.
Woo-wee.
But I mean, Jax, I feel like has his shit together finally.
I don't know about that. Does he? Does he really?
I hope so.
I'm not convinced.
I hope so.
I don't know.
I'm Team Ariana. Ariana.
Oh yeah, she's collecting that bag.
Yeah, she is. But you know what she should do? She just give that douchebag the house and take the money.
She just bought a house.
Oh, yay.
I just saw it on the gram.
Awesome.
She bought, I think it's like $1 million home or something. So she's making money. She's okay.
I like her.
I do too.
I've always liked her.
Mm-hmm.
She was too good for him.
No kidding. I love that show.
I do too.
It drives Mike crazy because I am obsessed.
I'm not
with the
sure
big
how I feel about Sheena. She's just always so damn shady.
Did you just watch the recent episode where they caught Katie, like she slept with Max? And Sheena Sheena tracks
Sheena
all her friends.
yeah.
Like 52 friends. Do you track anybody?
The kids. So I
Like,
know
who does that?
I track the children, and that's it. We track the children only because they're children.
She follows 52 people.
Psycho. If their friends were smart, they'd be like, unshare location.
That is so crazy.
But
to
you know
me.
what's funny? Danny and her friends share location.
They say that is what the young folks are doing
Like,
now.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what you people
I
are
don't
doing.
care what they're doing. They would see me go to Target a lot. And
Yeah.
that's about it.
They'd be like, oh, look.
Kroger, Target.
They'd be like, Adrienne's at another bar.
Mm-hmm.
Adrienne's at Home Depot. Adrienne's at Lowe's. Oh, look, she dragged her husband to another furniture store. We have no room for furniture. I'm like, should we look at furniture? He's like, for what?
No.
I'm like, I don't know.
Just because. You never know.
We should look, you know?
Might get a deal.
You just never know.
Yep. Uh-oh. Ruby's going to climb up this table. Rube.
Yeah, what's her deal? I bet she needs to go outside.
She probably does.
I bet I could entice a young boy. Oh, I can't. He's busy now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. She's got the virtual reality thing going on.
Playing gorilla tag, probably.
That looks fun.
So,
I didn't have toys like that.
no. That, because it didn't exist. The Simpsons didn't predict it early enough for it to happen.
We had to throw rocks and sticks.
We had to throw rocks and sticks. Whatever. You sat in your little red radio flyer going down the hill as fast as you could, trying to figure out how to steer your stuff with the black handle.
This is true. Wow. That was a memory. That was just right there.
That was fun.
It was
and
very
then
vivid.
And then you were like, what if I tied it to the back of my bike and pulled a friend?
Yeah, we used to do stunts like that.
And
where
then somebody got hurt. And then you were like,
Yes.
ooh, play date's over.
Well, my mom, and I'm sure all the other parents in the neighborhood were like, if the bone's not sticking out,
You're
it
fine.
can't be that bad.
I say that to the kids when they like call me repetitively when I'm not home and they're home alone and they're like, so-and-so's doing this. And I finally will say, if you aren't bleeding to death and the house is on fire, don't call me again. Figure it out on your own.
Cut your son's finger off that one time.
Oh, you did with a sewing tool. And then your dog tried to eat his finger one day.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. Danny tried to slice her finger off with a butter knife.
Yes.
And got 6 stitches. We were very proud of her.
They're very resilient children.
You're fine. I just tell him to rub some dirt on it.
My God.
We made Olivia walk around for a week and a half with a broken finger because the original assessment from the doctors was, oh, it's not broken. Turned out it was really broken.
Doctors make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah, especially at urgent care. After
Lord.
COVID, they're like, if it's not COVID, we don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, it's like they forgot other things.
They
Like,
do.
If it's not COVID, I don't know.
I'm going to tell you, it is like COVID never existed.
It is, isn't it? Isn't it weird?
Yeah, we went to Easter Mass at Cathedral.
Mhm.
We were ass to elbows. And some dude, I swear to God, spit on my neck coughing.
Oh, yeah. We've been in situations where I'm just like, there are a lot of people here and a lot of coughing and like sneezing. And
I know. I think I just
Wow.
start coughing to cough at this rate. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm going to start coughing and see what people do around me.
yeah,
Get a pew to myself is what's going to happen.
people don't care anymore. They're like, well, that's over.
All
done.
We're good. Never going to lockdown again.
Those were crazy times. Crazy times.
I do miss our drinking nights together.
Remember when we had Zoom drinking nights?
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, we do Taco Tuesday nights and we drink
Yes.
margaritas and
Yep. Remember when they said that spring break was just going to be a week longer?
I do. As a teacher, I'm like, okay, I could stay home for 2 weeks with my kids. And then they're like, we're going to reevaluate May 1st. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're going to do what?
I'm like, I can't do this.
I will murder somebody.
Cannot.
And then James came home with his little box of marbles and he's like, well, I'm here until June. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm-
it was
wait.
progressively worse. Like each day brought something
It
more
did.
awful.
So we were in our old house, 1,200 square feet.
Oh, yes.
No basement.
Mhm.
With the 5 of us and the dog. And I'm like, okay, I see why wild animals eat their young.
It was brutal.
You know, the best invention at that point for me, it's not really an invention, but the best action plan I came up with, I was so goddamn tired of washing cups. It's
You
like,
have enough cups for crying out loud.
we do. But they would like, I need a water, and they'd get water and drink, and then they'd put it in the sink. And then like 25 minutes later, like, I need a water, and they'd get a new cup out. I was like, Jesus Christ, what was wrong with the first cup that had water? And so one day, finally in the sink, there were every cup was probably in the sink, I think, at that rate. And I was like, I'm going to murder somebody. So I went out to the garage and we had red Solo cups. And I said to the kids, I sat them down, I said, I'm going to write your name on this damn cup. This is the only cup you may use. If you break your cup, you're drinking water out of the garden hose in the backyard. I
Like the
don't give a
80s.
shit. You break it, you have no goddamn cup. And they're like, well, what do we drink? I'm like, water out of the hose for everything. You get up at 3 a.m. and you're thirsty? Get it out of the hose. And I put them on the counter and I had their names on it. And for like a few weeks, eventually James was like, should we get them a new cup?
No.
I'm like, what? He's like, we have a 500 pack from Sam's. I mean, we could clearly get 3 more out. I'm like, fine. They can have a new cup every 2 weeks if they don't break their cup. And they did. They looked like college students drinking out of red Solo cups.
Hey, they were fine. They made it.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, I remember at one point when I did laundry, I was like, why does everybody only have like 2 pairs of underwear for 2 weeks? I realized at some point everybody quit bathing. It's like the water was tainted.
It was awful.
It had COVID.
Oh my God.
Nobody could shower.
Do you remember, this is reaching back, the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton?
Never saw it.
You never saw it. There's a scene with these news reporters. So the Joker in that movie started to poison like everything, all these products, and they eventually put it into like cosmetics and shit.
Oh.
And so every time they cut to these reporters, they'd stop wearing like cosmetics, and then they'd stop. In the next scene, they'd be like sweaty and like not washing their face. And so that's how I felt during it.
It is.
It was like increasingly gross.
I'm like, how come nobody has changed their clothing? And eventually it dawned on me that like everybody's working from home, right?
Oh,
so James would wear his pajamas because like they weren't Zooming. Like he wasn't doing his job. Like he could just do his job without being on Zoom with everybody all day. But then there would be a point at like 3 or 4 o'clock every day. He's like, well, I'm going to take a shower. I'm like, great idea. Take a shower for the day. And he'd come downstairs. I'm like, are you in clean pajamas? He's like, yeah, why get dressed? I'm not going anywhere. So like that was the routine, right? I'm going to wear my pajamas to bed. I'm going to get up. I'm going to work. I'm going to go take a shower at 4 o'clock and I'm going to put on clean pajamas.
That's kind of what we did.
But then it dawned on me at that point when doing laundry, there were clean pajamas every day for every child. I'm like, I'm sorry, you just wore 15 pairs of pajamas in 2 weeks and only 2 pair of underwear? What is happening? And why is this what happening? And then that's when I sat them down and I was like, here's the deal. You can wear your pajamas more than one night. And they're like, what?
I remember having that conversation with Emma,
I'm
too.
like, yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Just because you slept in it one night doesn't make it dirty.
Yeah.
A woman can wear leggings for 6 days and her husband wears 6 different pairs of pants in 6 days. You know, did you like have an accident that we need to change our pants? Did you wipe salsa down them? I mean, I might spill salsa on my pants. I'm like, I'm going to wear them still.
Well, yeah. I'll be like, oh, that's not too terrible.
I'll be like, oh, let me scrape that off there a little bit.
That's what that stain stick is for. You just
It
put
is.
it on there.
That's so we don't have to do laundry.
Yeah.
These conversations are just getting like intense.
I know. Oh my
just
gosh.
intense.
Well, I think it's been fun. What have you been thinking about this
I think it's
situation?
I think it's great. I think it's just like our normal hangout.
It is really. Honestly, it has been.
We really just bounce all over the place with weird shit.
This is as wacky as we get normally.
It is.
Honestly.
It is, you know.
So if people are interested in your design work, how can they contact you? Where can they find you?
Well, email right now.
What's your email?
It is KatherineRayfieldDesign@gmail.com currently. That's a C for Catherine.
Okay.
Don't forget the E on the end of Catherine like the state did, because then it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes those state employees are not very happy in their job and they just work too fast. It's like going to the post office. I swear nobody at the post office likes their job.
Oh, no, not a one.
I think that's a requirement. They're like, do you like your life? I don't. You're hired.
Can you start now?
Can you start yesterday?
We have a place for you.
Yes, we do. Bryden Road needs a new postal worker to be at the counter. And then I'm also on Instagram.
Yes, I saw your Instagram.
Catherine Rayfield Design. I don't think there's any weird symbols. Let me look. I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I might have been drinking that night.
Are you on the TikToks yet? You need to make TikTok videos.
Well, so here's the deal.
Are you going to do that?
I would love to make a TikTok. It is just Catherine Rayfield Design, all just one.
Okay.
I would love to do a TikTok, but I'm concerned.
Why?
Because of the band. Is it just going to delete from my phone now?
Oh, man, I hope not.
What am I going to do in my spare time?
I don't know, but I have a lot of TikTok people that I watch.
Well, yeah, I'm never going to get a house cow if I can't keep sending the videos to James to buy me a house cow if there's no TikTok.
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I think YouTubers are pretty concerned.
I have seen some TikTok people say that they are prepared to move to YouTube. So they're preparing, I think, to shift. We'll see.
It concerns me.
You could do a YouTube channel because you could talk about design that way.
Yeah.
Get that started.
Oh my God. Let me get the business running first, because if I don't get the business running, I got nothing to talk about. I'll be like,
You've been up and running for like a week, and I'm like, do this.
It's been a week. I've already just come to the conclusion that I'm not going to have paperwork.
We don't like paperwork.
But nobody, I'm a teacher. Nobody likes paperwork.
No paperwork.
You know, if I liked paperwork, I would have been a 3rd grade homeroom teacher, and then I'd have a lot of paperwork.
Lots of paper.
No papers in art.
No.
There's, not a lot of paperwork.
No.
Just a lot of watercolor paper, drawing paper, which is fine.
No.
It's different than paperwork, right? I'm not grading spelling tests or science tests on crustaceans or religion tests on the Old Testament.
No bueno. No fun.
No Spanish tests, because I don't know enough Spanish for that.
Me either.
But I maybe can get there. My first social media move was Instagram. Pictures.
Yeah, that was huge. I followed right away.
I know. I saw that. I had that back when I filed the paperwork in January. I locked it up real quick.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because it would like send me a message. You've yet to make a post. Would you like to make a post today? Here's a suggested post. It's like, make a post. I got nothing to post about. I need something to post about. So.
All right. So check her out. She is a great artist, actually. If I haven't said that yet, phenomenal. She has a very cool design aesthetic. Her house is beautiful. I love the way she decorates it. So, Adrienne, thank you for today.
No, thank you.
Thanks for agreeing to this mess.
This is
This
great.
chaotic,
I just
junky mess.
envisioned it just like it was,
So it went exactly as you planned, like you thought it would.
well, yeah, just, two ladies
I
talking,
know.
kind of like on Saturday Night Live and your
Right.
sweaty ball. It's kind of like that, right? Like sitting in this little studio,
I know.
kitchen,
It's so
dining room.
fun.
That's exactly how I feel, though.
Well, I appreciate it.
I would come back.
You would? You would be a returning guest?
I could be a returning guest, and we could,
my gosh.
maybe we can figure out a way to really properly measure things with our arms without moving them.
That would be a great step for me.
Because,
I know.
wingspan. Because we did it with the piano. It was really great.
I'm not convinced. I'll try it.
It doesn't work.
Well.
And you're going to carry the piano upstairs, and you're going to be, God damn it doesn't fit.
Take it back down.
James, put it on your back.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in for the second episode of My Big Fat Junk Drawer. Tune in next time. Thanks. We'll see ya. Bye.